Hi, hello. This is Deb from Deb's Dan. Welcome to Jess FM. We are here live in the beautiful city of Lethbridge, Alberta, coming to you on this beautiful day right before the spring equinox. We are talking about helping people get through the fall blues, the blues where you get all tired, and just a whole bunch of things that happen in the fall time with a lot of people go through, especially the bipolar people, and not to mention that having all this smoke through the summer has also turned people a little bit sad too, because they didn't get all that beautiful sunshine that we are used to here in southern Alberta. We're used to not being clouded over for the whole months of, well, not clouded, but smoked over for the pretty much the whole month of August with all of the terrible fires that happened in British Columbia. So today I'm going to focus on how to get through that sad energy and what we can do to fix things. So anybody can point out what's wrong with things all around the city, and what's wrong with people, and what's wrong with what's wrong. But on Deb's Den, we look for solutions here. So I think this is going to be one of my favorite shows on solutions, because I know I love to travel. So I'd like to introduce my friend and blogger from Mazatlan, Sinaloa, is it? Or? Sinaloa, in Mazatlan, Mexico, and I've been there. It's beautiful. And this is Anna. Anna, can you introduce yourself, and please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Anna Fernandez, but despite that moniker, I'm not Mexican. I'm originally from Venezuela, and my family came to Canada in 1965. And I have a British mother, so we're a multinational family. Mm-hmm. And there's 4 of us in the family. We were born in 3 different countries, so that makes us the United Nations, I always say.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Well, it sounds distant, actually. What caused you to be all over the place like that? Well, how do you have one family of 4 kids and everybody's born someplace?
Yeah, interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
My father was in the Navy, the Venezuelan Navy, and he was in England at the time. I think he was involved with the engineering of one of the naval vessels there, and met my mother. So that's how they got together. And so 2 of us were born there. And then
in Venezuela?
In England.
In England.
That's where they got married. And then they went to Venezuela, spent a few years there. But we did what we call in our family the Fernandez Triangle. And that is Venezuela, England, Canada, Venezuela, England, and a combination of that until I was about 9 or 10, and we moved, made a permanent move to Canada.
Oh, and what part of Canada did you live in?
I grew up in Toronto. Yes.
Toronto.
Yeah. T.O. Hogtown, it's called.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. They've got some issues going on there with things, but politics is politics. I know that. They got all kinds of changes going down there with Rob Ford and those kinds of fun things.
Oh, right.
I follow up on that. I'm like, go Toronto, go.
I'm too much in Mexico to follow the politics.
And that's what's lovely about Mexico is I've been there a few times, and they always like, just a Mexican minute, and it's like, we're a little bit late today, but we're on Mexican minute time.
Yeah.
And that's just that's the way it goes.
They also have another saying.
Chill out.
That mañana does not necessarily mean tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
When the worker is coming back mañana does not mean he'll return tomorrow.
Kind of when he gets here, he'll be here. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that attitude. I know when we would travel to Mexico, and in the moment we got off the plane, and somebody would be like, oh, I gotta get somewhere, gotta go somewhere, gotta be somewhere, and they would be like, calm down.
Yeah.
You're in Mexico. If you're late, we'll be there in a Mexican minute. Don't worry.
That's right. And we have a saying in our community, our Snowbird community, that as soon as you get off that plane in Mexico, you head to the beach, you take your watch, and you throw it in the ocean.
I like my new watch, by the way.
So wear a cheap watch.
Yeah. You know what I found also is that sometimes the humidity level is so high there that my watches don't work.
Oh. So that's interesting.
I know. I hit like Colorado, and the watch shuts off, and then go through my whole vacation, clock won't work, put new batteries in it, still won't work. And then I come back and flying over Colorado, I was like, oh, my watch is working.
Yeah, it's got to be the humidity.
Vacation's over.
Yeah.
I think my watch just means throw me out the door.
Yeah.
So that is like, so you're kind of a world traveler then. Well, within your triangle then.
Yeah.
And, how old were you when you really started to get that? I mean,
I think
if you were with your family.
The travel bug hit me practically when I was born, and I never lost that. I have a name in my family. My family all call me the Gypsy.
I always liked Gypsy.
And I even have a little thing that says Gypsy Soul.
Oh, she does. Isn't that cute?
Yeah. So I love moving, traveling, seeing things. It's just been me. I have no problem getting up and going somewhere new at all. So
yeah, sometimes that's a financial thing. So we're going to talk a little bit about also on how to find the deals, because on your blog site, I believe it is, that you have certain little secret ways that you can go to sites and guarantee yourself that lowest rate.
Yeah.
And I was watching that on her blog page earlier, and I thought that was really, really great.
I should mention my blog page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your address on that? What's it called? Who is Anna the blogger?
Anna the blogger. I have to tell people when I have my name on my blog or business cards and everything, they see Ana Fernandez, they automatically think I'm Mexican because I live down there, but obviously I'm not. So I always put I'm Canadian, and they always know that. So my blog
the
site
gives it away.
Yeah, my blog site is www.thesolosnowbird.com. And you'll find plenty of hints there, handy blogs that of interest, mostly to the snowbirds and the expats.
I know my sister is a snowbird. She goes down maybe every second, third year, and they go down for just about 6 months. They like to be, that 2 weeks early because they don't want to get caught if something happens. So they don't want to be caught being over the 6 months. But my sister, I love that she gets to go down. She's had such a life, and she gets to go down and just go camping. They bring their fifth wheel.
Nice.
And but if you were going down to Mexico, would you suggest driving down?
It's up to you. Many people drive down. I mean, it depends where you're going, where you're going to stay when you get there. Certain cities, for example, Mazatlan is a good example. We had a lot of RV spots in Mazatlan for years, but so many have closed up because our demographics that we're driving down in the RVs and stuff we're dying off, of course, and so you're not driving down as much. There's not that many driving down anymore. They're flying down and they're renting apartments and that sort of thing. So in our particular town, anyway, there's several RV sites that closed up, but they're still there. There's some there.
What would be the average cost? You say, like if I wanted to go for a week?
I wouldn't know that. No, you have to search that out.
Fairly expensive, but
I would just always suggest to people, if it's going to be their first time going there, to go for an all-inclusive. So that includes your airfare, your food, so the food isn't going to be weird or
it's delicious.
And because sometimes it's a bit of a shock, the hot sauces and all that sort of thing. But with an all-inclusive, they have lots of milder food, so you don't have to worry about that.
That's what I found.
And it's a very good deal too. It's a good way to discover the area.
I couldn't imagine how much food they, and every piece of fruit, every time it comes out, it's cut differently. So, they're not just reserving you the same food, that they always have the most beautiful displays, and the people are so friendly.
Really friendly.
Mazatlan is, I think, the first big city, basically, once you hit into Mexico, coming from the United States, isn't it?
I guess if you're driving the coast, the Pacific coast, it would
the Pacific coast,
it is. We're north of Puerto Vallarta.
Quite a bit north.
Yeah, quite a bit north. Yeah. And as well as over from Mexico City and Guadalajara would be south central to us, and so we are.
So that's kind of basically just straight across from the Baja, isn't it? The California Baja, right? Straight across. I took a ship or a boat one time across there when I went deep sea fishing, and it was beautiful. It's not the same as the Caribbean side.
No. The Caribbean side has much greener ocean, and it's very beautiful too. Very, but different. Yes.
White sand.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So I still found that it was really interesting in Mazatlan, just the diversity of the place. Like, you've got great big buildings, little buildings, some buildings you don't know if they're going up or down, but but in general, I found the people were absolutely sweet.
Yeah, yeah, very, very welcoming, nice community. It's a working town, so it's not yes, of course, there's tourists, there's a tourism business there, but it is a working town. It has a incredible, I think it's the world's largest shrimp exporting business.
That's what I was reading today.
And those of you that like beer, it's the only place that they make Pacifico beer.
Cerveza.
They ship it out from there.
Yeah. Cerveza. Yeah, so, yeah, I know when we were there, they had the big brewery, and they said, if you don't trust the water, drink the beer.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Be careful drinking the water, but the beer is good. It's some of the best in the world.
It sure is.
So that's kind of fun. When what is what do people do in Mazatlan though? Like, if you say in Canada, like I've talked to my cousin or my niece, and they say when you ask somebody what do you do, they tell you what they do for fun, not what they do for work.
For work?
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're a full-time citizen there, it all depends. That, like I say, that town is. Are you talking about the Mexicans, or are you talking about retirees, or what exactly? Because some people retire there and they live on their pensions and that sort of thing.
I think there is a really high percentage. I think it was somewhere around 22,000 Canadians live in Mazatlan that are retired. I just looked that stat up today, and it's off the top of my head, so you can fact check me. I might be off by a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it was 22,000 Canadians have moved to Mazatlan.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know if that seems like a high number, but could include the Americans maybe, or is that just Canadians?
Nope, that was Canadians.
Okay.
But there are the Mazatlan itself in the area. They were saying the population is about 300,000.
No, it's 600,000.
Is it 600,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe this was just an area that they were talking about.
Must be, yeah. No, it's been 600,000 or close to it for many years now, yeah.
600,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I found that was fun in Mazatlan was I just paid a taxi driver $20 and said, show us all the sites.
Oh,
and he took us around for $20, took us around and showed us all the main sites and took us up on the hill and the Diablo. And
you can get so many good tours from the local taxi drivers. And we have a unique taxi down there that no one else in Mexico is allowed to have. And they're called pulmonías. And loosely translated in Spanish, that means pneumonia makers, because they're based on a golf cart looking thing.
It does look
but
like a golf cart.
It's a Volkswagen engine actually, so it's open air. Mm-hmm. Now that's great in the summer, and but when it gets chilly,
it gets chilly.
Oh,
it
does get chilly.
Plus 15.
11. No,
11.
Oh, no,
it
11.
11. I think it's colder
hilarious.
than that today here.
The drivers with their toques on and their gloves and all that, because these open air ones are chilly to them.
Yeah, in Canada's where Canadians go down and we're still in our swimsuits and they're in their toques. We're all climatized.
But that rarely happens that low.
Yeah.
But it has in the years I've been there.
So do you find there's more people that come in the fall?
Yeah, most of the people, the snowbirds come down. It depends. October, November is when if they're the ones that are going to stay the whole winter. Mm-hmm. That's when they come down. Now some Americans, for example, will come down October and then go back for their Thanksgiving, which is late November, and not come back till after the New Year. So there's that. But if you're going there for 6 months, you usually come down around October, November is our busiest months.
So
there.
that they can completely avoid
the
winter, dark, doomy winters here in Alberta.
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, I've avoided them for 7 years now. So
lucky you. About halfway through winter, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm 4 months is enough of winter. But sometimes it seems like, I know we're already Calgary's already had snow.
Yeah.
It's September. We're just hitting fall. We shouldn't be having snow here in summertime.
No.
Like really, it's
September,
still summer. But I guess that's what makes us Canadians very diverse. We can take it. We can handle it.
Yeah. We're
It
hardy.
makes